Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Survival Saturday. And tonight's topic, in keeping with after the event, is it's froze there for a second. After they come for your weapons, what are your plans now? So, warning, possible fantasy fair porn Kool-Aid drinking zone ahead, because this is what several other channels have been putting out about how it's going to happen. But then again, maybe not. So, how's everybody doing out there? Go over to the comments here, and because I know I was busy with the grandsons. Oh, I see a couple more came in here. So, first one in was Crew 1351, followed by Moon Over Miami, then Geeky Gardens, then Diana, and everybody's chit-chatting back and forth there, saying hi to each other. Little Lone Prepper came in, and Daniel Barry Sports Highlights has made comments. And I'm comparing the number on making comments to the number up here in the corner up here, listening. You can't see the number, but I can. So we got about 6 more people that are just lurking. Lurking's fine. Just see if you can hit it, give us a thumbs up, or at least say hi, listening. If you're driving, don't worry about typing in until you're stopped at a stoplight or wherever where you can safely say hi. All righty. This is one that has been building and building and building back. Oh shoot! I'm trying to think. Was it FDR that was in, or was it a Democrat before that got a ban put on certain weapons? Oh, those are military weapons only. This was years ago, and several states have been fighting it, saying no, they can have them in our state. It's constitutional, and so that was to have machine guns, and they go, oh, you can't do this, and it's like, anyways, prepared for is here. So Second Amendment and stuff. So I was debating where to come off with this first. Wait for a little bit or start right off the bat. I'm going to start off right off the bat. The Constitution states that is, all the Bill of Rights. Those are God-given rights, not government-given rights. Froze. And the Bill of Rights does not grant you rights. It prohibits the government from taking those rights away. Yet everyone says, well, we need to get rid of the Second Amendment because it gives you the right to do this. And it's like, no, the Second Amendment gives you the right to have no limitation on it, any type of firearm, weapon, anything to defend yourself or overthrow, and most importantly, to overthrow tyranny. And that's what the Federalist Papers and Jefferson's Papers and Adams' paper, all the stuff they wrote about it, explaining it, and which judges are supposed to study in law school. And so that's there. So when you get judges saying, "Oh no, it doesn't say that," they're lying. They know they're lying, and they're just hoping that we're too stupid to know that they are lying. So let's move on here to this here. Causes for them coming for your weapons. Man-made on purpose, man-made by mistake. So far, I would say 99.9% of the laws were passed on purpose. There were some of them that were passed by the majority of the legislature by mistake because they did not take the time to read everything that is in the law and missed some stuff that was stuck in at the last minute that their aides may or may not have read like they're supposed to do to alert their senators or representatives that, hey, they snuck this in on us. Exactly. Look how bad it's getting in Great Britain. You can't be in public with a knife more than 2 inches long. Pretty soon, it's going to be they're going to take out X-Acto knives and say you can't carry X-Acto knives, and they're they're limiting tools such as axes are being limited, and farming implements like sickles and size are being limited too. So yeah, you can still buy a kitchen knife set, but you can only from the place of purchase to your house is the only time you're allowed to have it in public. Or if you're moving from one location to another location, you're packing up your house and you're moving from this street, you're moving over to that street. Those are the only times you can have them out of the house. So I was working with the grandkids the last couple of days a lot, and I just remembered a quote I was supposed to put in here, so I'm going to try to wing it here, and I can't remember it exactly, but I'll just summarize it. It basically is saying the only reason why government should try to take your way of defending yourself away is if they're planning to do something bad to you. And that's what it is, And we'll look, you look at the, let's see, start with the big one, Germany in the 30s. They started disarming the population. The first country the Nazis invaded was their own. Yeah, so they everyone thinks, well, Germany invaded Poland first. Wait, no, let me change this around a little bit. Yeah, the first country that the Nazi party invaded was Germany. The first country they started killing the citizens of was Germany. They attacked their own people before they attacked anybody else. They got rid of everyone that was a dissident or would cause problems for them. They took away rights, they took away weapons, they took away a lot of stuff. And then they took full control and got rid of elections and everything else. So just looking at that. And Kaylin just came in. Death by paper cuts is a real threat, especially if you play especially if you play Dungeons and Dragons or Mech Warrior or BattleTech or Car Wars, where they got these, either a hero with a whole bunch of small knives, or you got vehicles or mechanized things with a whole bunch of small lasers, and they specifically call it in the rules death by paper cuts. Would love to come up. No internet after storm, though. iPad on cellular. I know you would love to come up on this one, Mark. I was just looking for you. So yeah, there are a number of reasons. All of them are not justifiable reasons for taking people's guns away. They go, oh, we need to make gun-free zones such around schools and stuff. And where you can't have a gun on school property or within, unless you live there within something, you can't, be open carrying or concealed carrying within, 1,000 feet of school property. Problem is, where have 99.9% of all, shootings or mass shootings take place at? Gun-free zones. It's, whereas, Or not that does exclude gang violence against one gang against another. But that's a whole nother apple to talk about. But as far as gun-free zones to keep guns out, yeah. Which cities have the most gun control, and not gun control, they're gun denial laws on the books? New York City and Chicago. Where are most do the most gun killings take place at? Or I should say killings using guns? New York and Chicago. Exactly. Chicago has more than, well, Massachusetts is not a city. Sorry, Mark, Massachusetts is not a city, but yeah, gun-free zones is open kill zones. Now, just recently, and I don't think it made it on any of the major news networks. I saw someone post something about it and links to local news things to look at it. There was a shooting at a college campus where the only person that died was the shooter, because 3 students who had concealed carry permits stopped the attacker. Oh, hammers, bottles, ropes, knives, bows and arrows. Of course, if you've seen any of the archery competition, little short clips on Facebook Shorts or YouTube Reels, and over on Instagram and stuff like that, I mean, these people are way back there, and they're shaving the fletchings off of the arrow they previously shot. They're not quite pulling Robin Hood shots yet, but they're getting in there. I mean, just saying, with all these things that they're watching on and right next to it. I don't understand what you're trying to say there, Mark. Or are you saying that criminals don't follow laws? That's the definition of a criminal: someone who doesn't follow laws. Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, some of them are even just banning archery altogether. But yeah, it's a little hard to conceal carry a crossbow through town, except some of the newest design ones where everything folds up. You can put it in a shopping bag and carry it. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Yeah, you can't. Anything over 2 inches is illegal. Last week, yeah, it's just and for a country like Germany to be banning any type of weapon should be screaming at you. Again. But yeah, so let's go. I'm going to move on here. Let's see what we got here. So mitigation and recovery. Mitigation is everybody get out and vote for those who are backers of the Constitution. And also see about removing judges that are against the Bill of Rights. You know, make sure everyone knows your feeling on it. Get a lot of people out there. Get a grassroots campaign going in your area to totally hobble the ATF, or pass state laws saying that ATF generated rules are not laws and will not be enforceable in our state. They are not a legislative body, and they can't make laws. And so just get stuff like that. There are several things for doing that. Texas has totally stuck up the one finger salute to the ATF on suppressors. They have laws that says you can make your own suppressor in the state of Texas. You have to have, the only requirements you must have made in Texas on it, and there is no paperwork required to own it in the state of Texas. We can't say if other states will honor this, but so they've told the ATF, no, our citizens have the right to make them and own them. Yeah, unfortunately, that's a cliche that's been out there for so long, and anyone that tries using that is, why you had all these guns in a boat? Yeah, I forget who it was. It was one of the previous. I'm sure the person's called a director of the ATF. I just try to ignore that agency as much as possible. It was the director or chairman, whatever of it. The Fuhrer of the ATF said, anyone claiming that they lost it in a boat, we're going to charge premeditation for violating certain crimes. I forget what all he mentioned and stuff. It's like, yeah. Okay, so yeah. All right, recovery of it, again, at the polls. Start locally. Have city governments, pass laws that is unconstitutional for anyone to enforce a law that you cannot have any weapon. You cannot put limits on weapons, magazines, or anything else under city limits. And anyone tries to enforce a law that is from state, county, or federal, will be charged under city law. This is medieval times. That I did not hear of, because and that seems kind of strange, because they needed knives and stuff to process the animals. If you could provide specifics on that, I would like to see that. Let's see. All right, so yeah, recovery. Start with local, county, state laws. You start getting states passing laws saying, no one is allowed to pass a law, opposite to what the Second Amendment says. Then you've got you start getting several states doing that, and all of a sudden more states are going to do it. It's like the same thing with the laws that are being passed stating that all stamped coins, silver and gold coins, cannot be taxed, even if they are collectibles, because they are considered as currency in that particular state. But yeah, the recovery from it is getting laws passed to repeal and block other laws that have been passed. And also they could pass laws for anybody. States could pass a law on their representatives to the federal government, for their senators and representatives going that say any of our people that go to Congress who vote to violate the Constitution are immediately removed from their elected position in Congress and are guilty of treason and are to be brought back, sentenced, tried, and sentenced. And of course, for treason, the sentence is execution. Let's see here. Let's go on to, let's start addressing some things here. Okay. Yeah. And we're not just talking about these. I'm going to make it go back the other way again. We're just not talking about these lovely tools. Come on, there we go. Let's start with knives. Knives are like hammers. There are probably 40 different types of 40 plus different types of hammers. Each one has a specific job. Same thing with knives. All these different knives have different jobs. And the one I wish I could have found a picture of, I got two of them. They're skinning. They are Gerber skinning knives for skinning the hide off of cows, goats, pigs, deer, whatever. I got two of those, and I keep them sharp because using it, it starts losing its machete. Yeah. Wait, you talk about the blade or the person? Yeah. So every type of tool here is designed a specific way to do a specific thing. And of course, like we mentioned, I still have my dad's military one. Cool. You know, that's something. Shoot, I'm having a brain fart here, guys. Give me a second here. Give me a second here to double check something here. I'm looking something up here. Okay, yeah. Technically, there are a lot more laws that have already violated the Constitution than most people put a connection to. So I move this over here for a second. All right, so I can tell if I freeze on it. The Second Amendment doesn't say firearms. Let's go into it here specifically. Google's not trying to, when you Google the Second Amendment, they're not trying to give you exactly what it is. A well-regulated militia, and a militia back in that time, and they talked about it, is not a government-run military organization. It is the citizens of the United States. That is referred to as the militia. Being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and froze on there. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The amendment part of the Bill of Rights ratified in 1791 establishes the right of individuals to own and carry weapons for self-defense, civic defense, protecting citizens from government overreach. Boom. Everyone thinks, oh, no, it's for hunting. No, it's not for hunting at all. That's not the reason for it. Now, having read that, I'll say it again. the right to keep and bear arms. Back at that time, arms was not talking about firearms specifically. They were talking about knives, bows, firearms, swords, axes, anything was considered to be arms. And yeah, it was because arms is capitalized in the Second Amendment. So yeah, let me go ahead and get rid of that now. Oops, and we'll go back here. Yes, cannons at the time. A lot of people had cannons. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Cassius Clay, Senator Cassius Clay, had a cannon at his print shop because he was pro getting rid of slavery, and he was printing stuff, and people had threatened to burn down his place, and he armor plated it and stuff, and had to get in the front door. He came in the front door, and it's wide enough for one person to walk down this hallway, and there was a cannon sitting at the other end, loaded with grape shot. Yep. Oh, I wish I should have brought that one up. I have a picture of the oh geez. The company begins with an A. Oscillate. Anyways, they make a 20 millimeter sniper rifle with a 30-inch suppressor on the end of it. And I put one up as a meme and put it. This identifies as my long distance cordless hole puncher. I was going to bring that one up. All right, let's go to the next picture here. Hang on, what Caitlin put up? My brother got stopped. For walking down the street with a bunch of members of the softball team. He goes, Are you armed? Yeah, I got a right arm and I got a left arm. All right, let's see here. All right, swords. There's all sorts of swords, and look at all the different designs, and they all have different particular uses. My daughter, when she went to college, was on the fencing team, and for 1 or 2 semesters, she was the captain of the fencing team. And she still has her rapier in her closet right now. So does her husband. But yeah, of course, I have a nice collection of katanas, and I always mispronounce it. What I can't pronounce it now. I'm getting tongue tied. The short samurai sword. So I got I got 9 katanas and 7 Watasakis. And then those are the ones I bought. I inherited one from my dad that his uncle, who was a prisoner in China at a Japanese internment camp there, a prisoner of war camp there for civilians, that he took from the commandant when near the end of the war, when the camp got overrun and liberated, and he chased the guy into the jungle, came back, and there's now a nick in the blade, but he won't say where it came from. All right, so yeah, with swords and stuff, and they've been banning swords in Europe longer than you can shake a stick at. All right, next one here. And then there's the melee weapons, depending on what country you're from and how you want to pronounce it. Yes, brutal, efficient. From the right, 1, 2, 3. The fifth one from the right, that hammer-looking thing with a spike on it, was an adaptation that blacksmiths used when they went to war. Because, hey, they swung a hammer, so they know how to use a hammer. They're not good with some of the others, but, you give them a 7-pound smithing hammer. Whoo! Yeah. And so they made some with either just a straight spike or, as shown here, a curved spike. Second one from the left, yeah, you got each one has a specific name, but this is usually this is the second one from the left is called a mace or chain and mace, where instead of you have the small wooden handle, a chain, and the spiked ball, which is considered the mace. And then there's archery. I've done several live streams on archery about is archery for you, for hunting, self-defense and stuff. And there are a whole myriad of type of tips for the arrows. And, different types of arrows, wooden, aluminum, composite, fiberglass, ballistic material, one's made out of Kevlar and resin and stuff. And I saw one guy go and shoot it at the floor from the balcony in the observation balcony at an archery range. It ricocheted, didn't break. Amazing stuff they were doing with them. But yeah, you got all sorts. You got your recurve, your regular bows, like your longbow on the bottom right of the a recurve a longbow, or it's on the bottom right, and the second one from the left is sort of more like a tweaking. But yeah, you got all sorts of stuff. They don't have. Dang it, I didn't get the Yumi, the Japanese bow that's longer on top than it is on the bottom for riding on horses. But I mean, you look at this, the modern one here in the on the far right. You got your is this a breaking recurve? No, this is not a breaking recurve, but this has the compound bow and stuff. I have an Anita. I have an Anita Eagle, but the Golden Eagle is the difference between mine and that one is it's a breaking recurve with a cam lock, not just on the drawstring, but up on the hinge point on the bow itself. So you pull it back and it locks. And when that sucker goes, man, it is expeditionary speed out of it. Just poof. But yeah, you come everything. You got scopes on them now, and you got lasers on them and balancing stuff. So it counteracts the force on your wrist and puts everything into the arrow, so the arrow's flying faster. I've seen several memes where it shows Native Americans on horseback with compound bows. I said, what if? All right, and that's the end of those pictures. But yeah, the Second Amendment covers everything I showed there. And so the laws that say, oh, you can't carry a dagger, technically, are a violation of the Second Amendment. The laws that say you can't have a switchblade are a violation of the Second Amendment. And so it's not, that's why I said on it, the title is, come for your weapons. I didn't say your pew-pews. So it covers a lot of and every weapon imaginable out there. Your flamethrower doesn't say, same thing. What's funny is certain states allow you to own flamethrowers and others do not. The ones that do not are violating the Constitution. So, anyways, when it comes to this, on the flip side is, do you have some? Do you have these self-defense and tools to, as a member of the of a well-regulated militia. All you need to be well-regulated is to be organized and have meetings, quarterly or whatever. And what's funny, originally a well-regulated militia at the time of yesterday, 250 years ago, was any group of citizens that got together and elected a leader and stuff, so they had a chain of command of their little town's militia. They weren't governed by the mayor; they were governed by the person they elected. So, anyway, so now for the next question: what are you going to do? I know people have talked about boating acts and stuff, but seriously, what would you do if your state demanded everyone's turn in all weapons? Especially if they say that we want everybody to turn in all weapons. Yeah, some states do that. Others don't even consider them a firearm at all, and don't have any prohibit on them. But they allow cities to say you can't shoot the cities that have made their own laws about you can't shoot a BB pistol or rifle in city limits. Yep. Now my question is, and I'm going to stir up the pot here, folks, so just bear with me. I'm going to use your term. The guy, was he a Democrat or a Republican? I'm laying odds 100 to 1 that he was a Democrat. That would be a civil war in many states. Yeah. I know in a couple states, if legislatures were to do that, any legislature from the counties of certain sheriffs would be arrested for treason. They would take them. Yeah, some people who inherit tools from parents, uncles, grandparents, granduncles, aunts, sisters, brothers, whatever, they inherit them. They conveniently forget to do any documentation on it, other than keeping a copy of the will that says they inherited, to my nephew George, I leave my 45-70, my 30-30, and my 50 caliber. Kind of vague there, but everyone in the family knows, and George gets that, but there's nothing done on it. There is a channel out here, the totally law-abiding channel. The guy who owns the channel was out with some friends in high school. He had just turned 18, and one of them, they were supposed to meet us, and one of them pulled up in the car. Hey, let's go for a ride. No one else in the car knew that it was stolen, yet they all got charged with stealing the car. No one knew about it, but they, they couldn't get out of it, and so yeah, he was has a felony on his record of grand theft auto, and he was just hanging out with the guy. Oh, let's go ride with Jack here, and they all hopped in his car, and yeah, it wasn't his car. But his channel is all air guns, and it's legal for him to own air guns. You know, we're talking about the pre-charged. He has some up to 72 caliber air rifles. Yeah. Not exactly. That was all right. Shoot, name of the city. You know, the city had passed a ban saying that you couldn't wear an open carry in town because of all the the problems that arose to it, people getting drunk and having it on there. The problem is that the Cowboys was a gang of thieves and robbers, and they were bad people, all to the bone, bad to the bone, and they were trying to provoke the law enforcement, Wyatt Earp and others to try to provoke them to give them a right to defend themselves, and they lost. Oh yeah, well, thing is, on some of the new air rifles, the company's called Air Force. I can't remember the exact model. It's a 50 caliber. Well, actually, there's a 30 caliber, a 45 caliber, a 50 caliber, and they were supposedly working. I haven't checked on them to see if they did the 72 caliber, which is the same size as a shotgun. But people use those to go hunting. They hunt deer and stuff. Of course, the 50 caliber, they use it to hunt bear. For 99% of the country, no. There are some blue states that are trying to make them classified as firearms and trying to get the federal government to classify them as firearms, but they won't because the terminology of a firearm has to have fire involved. But most states, you do not need a permit for them. But some cities are trying to make them, you have to get a permit for them. So you can check on it. I just remembered the name of that channel. Hang on a second here. Let me show it to you here. This up over here. YouTube. That open. See if it brings it up here. Yeah, here we go. There it goes. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button there. There we go. Maccabee Speed. He goes through and goes through all sorts of them and tests them, does everything cool on them. I mean, it's just all these here are all air guns. Yeah, the 72 caliber Zeus here from AEA. I'm not sure if this is the video for it, but one video I was watching on it, and it had a malfunction. The O-ring from the under it here is the tank that charges it. When he pulled the trigger, it discharged the entire tank, instead of a small amount, set a new world's record for the fastest shot fired by an air rifle. It was ridiculous, and about knocked him on his butt. The recoil. Yeah, he goes through and he talks about him. He those shorts and other longer ones on the there we go. There's the link to it on the legality and what like he's in California, and he talks about what the change certain Democrat legislatures are trying to make air rifles the same as firearms for all laws and stuff, and they get fought back on that. All the local farmers are starting to celebrate. Yeah. Oh, last night they started about 8:30 here, and they weren't the fireworks in the sky. They were like the M80s and stuff. They were the ground-based ones that were just noisemakers. So yeah, they were celebrating the noisemakers last night. And then once it got dark about 9:30, or starting to get dark at 9:30, there a couple of them started going up, and I came, I just stopped going outside at 10 o'clock, looking around to see what was going on, and it continued on until 11 o'clock last night. I'm expecting it to go to midnight tonight. So yeah. Oh, by the way, happy 4th of July, everybody. And if my nephew is watching from Texas, which he's probably not, happy birthday, John. It's his birthday today. Yes, he's born on the 4th of July with the name of John Smith. I'm not going to tell you his middle name because there's, but yeah. But, all right. So with that, I really don't see. It's like Mark said there on the one time, it'd be civil war in certain states if they try getting the laws passed against it. In certain states, the different sheriffs will rise up and arrest any state legislature that violates the Constitution for treason. Some of them come out and said it specifically. My cat has been hiding for a couple hours now. Oh, sorry about that. No fireworks here, triple digits and drought. Yeah. But there are some idiots out there who go, "Oh, I'm safe." Those are the same idiots that go that on Friday are going, "Hey, come on over, we're doing this," and Sunday morning are going, "Hey, what happened to my fingers?" Yeah. All right. So coming up here on Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound. Canning broth, leave in the fat or remove it, and we're going to cover a little bit more, like just do the broth by itself, or are you going to put onions in it or other thing? Having the broth be a preliminary to pot roast stuff, where you got a lot of stuff in it already. Just stormed here, so everything is wet. Good. I wish it would storm now here. For about the next hour and a half. It should rain for the next hour and a half. That way, when they start setting stuff off, everything around town will be wet, and we don't have to worry about it. Technically, no, because all martial law is, they're not changing laws. Martial law is where they can call upon the military to assist in maintaining order. And it's very limited to what the military can do. Tactical Tuesday back here on Gray Man Prepping. Human-powered gadgets for living without power. Of course, the way the grid's been going and the predictions for the grid this year, you may want to look at some of these and try, get some, if you don't have them already, to get by when the power goes out. Thursday is the midnight ride at 10 o'clock Eastern, which is the time about the actual midnight ride started. Next Friday is farmers markets. What are your plans? And then next Saturday is, all right, ladies. This was a member recommended topic. So this is for all the ladies out there. You ready? After all the men vanish, what are your plans? And some of the, and I've seen a lot of panel video things up on or reels up where you get these ones. Well, for a man to marry me, he's got to bring in at least $1 million or $500,000 a year. Blah 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 blah. And someone always says, well, you know, we'd probably be better off if all the men vanish. It's like, yeah. The male host was just smiling. He goes, yeah, well, how are you going to reproduce? Anyways, so next Saturday is After All the Men Vanish. Guess what the following Saturday is? Tit for tat. After all the women vanish, what are your plans? So, guys and gals, you each get your own special Saturday coming up here. All right, so that's what's coming up here. And it's just a reminder, everyone, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill every month. Practice the skills you learn. And try expanding your garden. Yeah, we're already into July, but you can still grow stuff. All right, and fall's when you plant garlic. So get yourself some garlic beds built for this fall. All right, everyone, take care, and I will see you Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound. Take care.